Welcome back to Underlab. One of the strangest things about Undertale has to be the power of souls. That is to say, their power isn't exactly strictly defined. All we know from what we're told in-game is that human souls are more powerful than monster souls, despite not requiring everything monsters believe are necessary, such as empathy. While this is undoubtedly a critique on the sort of people you would meet during a League of Legends match, it does beg the question of what separates human souls from monster souls. Well, while no one comes out and directly explains it while playing, there does seem to be more than the occasional hint or semi-explanation as to why this is. I feel there's several possibilities that could explain why human souls are more powerful than monster souls, so let's take a look as we try to unlock the secret of determination. So what do we already know about souls? 8 human souls ended up in the underground due to Chara, or Kara, the 6 humans and Frisk falling down. 2 of these were red, namely Chara's and Frisk's. The other 6 were all unique colours, which represent various traits. Meanwhile, monster souls are all white. They also possess only a fraction of the power that a human soul has. Firstly, what exactly is the power that human souls possess that monster souls don't? It seems to be intrinsically linked to determination. Determination is a physical substance within the world of Undertale that can actually be synthesized into a liquid, as is revealed within the true lab. Injecting a monster with determination isn't a very good idea, as they lack the physical matter to maintain their bodies when filled with determination. What that means isn't exactly that clear, as it's not as if monsters are smaller than humans. Whatever the case, humans are the only ones capable of harnessing the power of determination. But what is that power? It's actually never fully explained. We can hazard a guess. Time travelling is real within Undertale, as Sans reveals. That means all the reloading we do when we die is actually a part of the game. This seems to be a part of what determination is. It somehow allows humans to fight on past death. Alphys hoped it would do the same for the monsters she injected with the stuff, though clearly it didn't, as they ended up as what we now know as the Amalgamates. Determination is also the very definition of the word, to keep going on despite the odds against you. Frisk is undeniably the epitome of determination, whether prevailing against attacks from every monster we come across on the pacifist run, or persisting in slaying every last one of them on the genocide path, Frisk is always determined, which is no doubt due in part to their red soul. Like the other coloured souls that represent traits, red seems to indicate determination. Confusingly, not every human seems full of determination. Chara undoubtedly has a lot, though they wanted to die for the sake of their plan with Azrael. We're allowed to give up when we die as well, so this is likely the same thing. However, the 6 humans who were slain under Asgore's orders never utilised their determination in order to come back. Perhaps they couldn't, but why would that be? Maybe only red souls have enough determination to control the timeline. Or maybe because Flowey had the most determination at the time, he prevented them from reloading after death as part of his grand plan to amass 7 souls worth of power. Still, it's pretty crazy to think that a single human soul is equivalent to all the souls of the monsters combined. At the end of the true pacifist route, Flowey only has 6 human souls to make use of. If he had only absorbed those, he would have turned into a Mega Flowey again. However, by also consuming the souls of thousands of monsters, he becomes Azrael Dreamer once more, and far more powerful than he would have been otherwise. Regardless, one additional human soul would have had the same effects. Is this the power of determination made manifest then? It seems logical to conclude that it is. Determination allows us to persist past death and to reload the timeline if we want to do something differently. It seems whoever has the most determination at the time is the one who controls the timeline. So throughout all of Undertale, it's Frisk. Determination seems more powerful than weapons or even magic within Undertale, as there's really no understating how useful both time travel and immortality must be. Still, we haven't answered the question as to what determination is, if determination is what empowers human souls. Well, I have a few ideas. A very blatant one and quite possibly the most blunt answer is that the human souls are so much more powerful than monster souls purely for the sake of Undertale's narrative. By making monsters seem so much more weak than the player, we can only feel sympathy for them, making us feel truly righteous on the pacifist route and completely evil on the genocide path. It's writing 101. By making the monsters out to be so weak, we're forced to pity them despite the various times they attack us unprovoked. Think of the Na'vi from Avatar. They're at a huge disadvantage against the humans who attack them, but would we feel so sympathetic if they struck back with equal firepower? I realise that this doesn't really explain anything, but it could very well be that there simply is no explanation. It could simply be that human souls are more powerful than monster souls because it enables us to better sympathise with the monster's plight. If the monsters could rival the humans in terms of power, Sans wouldn't be so depressed, and monster kind likely wouldn't be trapped underground. Essentially, they had to be weaker for Undertale's story to make sense. I understand this is a slightly boring answer, however, so let's explore a few other possibilities. At the end of the game, Chara goes over the various acronyms we tend to encounter in RPGs. It turns out that they mean something else in Undertale. Could determination be a bit like these acronyms, rather than simply meaning to persevere? Maybe in Undertale, determination is a supernatural force, like magic. Magic does exist in Undertale after all, so it's really not a stretch to consider that determination might be something a little more than meets the eye. It could simply be that within Undertale, determination is a force or power beyond understanding. Speaking of force, this all makes me think of the Force from Star Wars. Like the Force, determination could be a power that's not really understood, but it's underlying in everything you do in Undertale. Or perhaps it really is just an alternate version of magic. We know that humans apparently can't use magic, as we find out when reading the young monster's essay in the library. It's hard to verify how accurate this really is, but we'll assume that during the time Undertale takes place, they're correct. So, if humans can't use magic, perhaps that's why they can use determination instead. This actually clears things up quite neatly. Remember that when injected with determination, monsters melt and fuse together. The question that's not answered in Undertale is what happens when a human is injected with magic, if such is possible. I have a hunch that something very similar to Alfie's amalgamations would happen, however. If monsters can't utilise determination to the point that they have such an extreme reaction when it's forced upon them, it makes perfect sense that exactly the same thing would happen if a human was exposed to raw magic. So, while obviously they're intrinsically different, perhaps magic and determination come from the same source, they just deviate in some significant way. This ties nicely into the overall theme of humanity's sins within Undertale, if we're to suggest that monsters and humans are fueled by two completely separate things. Both magic and determination remain as ambiguous as each other, however, with the properties of both not clearly defined. I mean, maybe determination is ketchup. We do see Sanj chugging the stuff, and he's one of the few monsters to understand a little about time travel. Just kidding, of course. Or am I? No, I'm just kidding actually. Determination could just be a word representative of the fact that Frisk has a controlling hand behind them. If we really are telling Frisk what to do and reloading whenever we die, aren't we basically playing God within Undertale? Maybe other humans have determination because they're other players. Essentially, anyone who is playable in a video game has determination. Monsters don't, because generally you don't get to play as those who are typically the bad guys or are otherwise NPCs. Determination may therefore simply mean that something else is in control of a human's fate. The word could be explained as meaning that you're stuck going down one path. This is like how we get to choose whether Frisk saves all of monster kind or kills them all. Regardless of what the little human actually feels, they're determined because we control every step they take, so they don't exactly have much choice in the matter. Wow, this is slightly dark. Let's try and summarise things then with a neat little ribbon. Human souls are so powerful because of determination, but what exactly determination is isn't clearly defined. We know it can be synthesised into a physical substance that can be injected into monsters with disastrous results. I don't recommend doing that. There's many things it could be. In terms of lore, it may be like the dark reflection of magic, something that's related with purity and creativity, while determination is simply the persistence to fulfill your purpose, whatever that may be. Or it could be an allegory of the fact that the player is in control, and Frisk must seem so determined because they're not the ones deciding what their body does. Or maybe determination is just ketchup. No, seriously, it's not. I hope you're feeling determined after watching this video. Determined to click subscribe perhaps? I won't push my luck. Determination is one of the major themes of Undertale, and I think what's especially interesting is that we can see how it can be used for both the purest of good and most wicked of evil. With determination, you can save an entire race of creatures from banishment. However, also with determination, you can commit genocide. Undertale is just kind of like that. What do you think determination truly is? Let me know in the comments. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Try not to die and have your determination extracted for the sake of experimentation. And I'll see you next time.